Hi, this is David Dusek, Senior Editor with Golfweek magazine. Welcome to this week's edition of Ask the Expert, the place where you get to ask me anything you like about golf equipment and what the guy's using on the PGA Tour. This week's letter comes to me from Chicago, Illinois, from a reader named Steve Friedman, who writes, Dave, a friend said that the pros don't use wedges with a lot of bounce because they're so good they don't need it. Is that true? Now, to make sure that we're all on the same page, it's important to remember the difference between bounce and bounce angle. The bounce itself is the back flange that's going to be on the golf club, the portion that's going to dip below the leading edge. Bounce angle is what you really want to concern yourself with, and the bounce angle is measured when you have the shaft being straight up and down, and then the angle is taken actually from the bounce itself, that back flange, up to the leading edge of the golf club. A golf club that has a high bounce has a greater angle than a low bounce wedge. And what does that really mean? Well, a high bounce wedge is going to be especially effective in light, fluffy conditions and in deep rough because it's going to allow you to avoid digging into that sand or into that ground, and it's going to help you keep the golf club moving. A low bounce wedge is going to be a little bit better when you're in tight conditions on a tight lie, when you have really firm conditions in the fairway so that you don't sort of skid in and hit the ball a little bit thin, or if you're in wet, sandy conditions. Golfers on the PGA Tour, by and large, will go with a slightly lower bounce wedge in their lob wedge. In their sand wedges, the trend has actually been going towards more bounce, playing with more bounce on those fluffy conditions. For example, Jordan Spieth has a Titleist Vokey Design SM5 56-degree sand wedge with 10 degrees of bounce. Henrik Stenson played Callaway Mac Daddy 2 Tour Grind wedges. His 52 degree has 10 degrees of bounce. His 58 has 9 degrees of bounce. And Charles Howell plays a Mizuno MPT5 wedge, 55 degrees with 13 degrees of bounce. So as you can see, when it comes to the clubs that players are using mostly out of the sand and a lot of trouble different areas, they're going with sort of mid-bounce to higher bounce wedges. If you have a question you'd like to ask me, the expert, please feel free to email me at ddusek@golfweek.com or feel free to send me a message on Twitter anytime at @golfweek_Dusek. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.